Shana Tova, friends. Rabbi Shaban, you told us that the main confession was folks didn't listen. Time to atone. Today I'm going to talk to you from a script and from the heart with no ad-libbing. Maybe a little ad-libbing. And you know, at some point I'm going to ask you for money, but we'll save that to the end. Last year I spoke about the different pillars that comprise the CBT congregation that give our community strength. I mentioned that we welcome and cherish our friends who we see only twice a year, our religious school families, and our empty nesters, our social action advocates, our Torah study devotees, our weekly worshipers, our Israel engagement crew, our interfaith families, our LGBTQ friends and allies, and those folks who, for whatever personal reason, they may have found that CBT has something to offer them. Last year, I also shared my personal journey from card-carrying atheist to the president of CBT without losing my atheist credentials. I explained how my devotion to CBT flowed from CBT's warm, kind, and welcoming nature, and I think we've seen gorgeous examples of that throughout our service this morning, and how I cherish my ability not only to pay CBT back with what I do here, but also pay it forward by encouraging others to lean in to be part of our community. You've also probably figured out that I like to do things my way, to shake things up a little. So, to do this high holiday appeal a little differently, I'd like to invite my fellow board member, our immediate past president, and good friend, Judith Baral, to join me on the bima. Both Judith and I have come to our roles at B'nai Tikva through very different paths. I told you a bit about mine. It took me 5 years after my wife Claire moved to Walnut Creek for me to move out here full time. Claire joined CBT immediately. I showed up occasionally. Claire joined the Social Action Committee soon after joining CBT. I attended meetings hesitantly. Claire made friends here instantly. I was more standoffish. Some might have even called me arrogant and unfriendly. But as I shed my New York provinciality and let myself be open to our community's warmth and charm, I journeyed from viewing CBT through a jaundiced lens to an involved congregant. Never thought I'd be president, Dan Laporte. Yet, hineni, here I am. Judith, a longtime congregant, how many years?
21.
Has a different story to tell us.
David, thank you for inviting me up here today. And it is true that I've missed coming up here for the high holiday appeal. So, anyway, good Yontif. Just look around. To echo what Rabbi said at Rosh Hashanah, it is so wonderful to be back here in person again. Walking through those doors of St. Matthew, the memories just flooded in. from the time when Rabbi Asher, during the children's service, I see you over there, would throw out toys during the children's service, and the kids would leap up, grab them, giving their sister a bloody nose all the while, no problem. From the beautiful sounds of our choir, who've really helped me to settle into this day, to the sounds of Kol Nidre, and to the transcendent voice of our rabbi, really just brought me back home. And one voice at Rosh Hashanah, who did not feel like this was my CBT when they heard that? A true gift, a real gift to hear that in person again. And over these days of awe, we have heard so many wonderful stories of my CBT. And I found myself in so many of those stories. Of course, all of us have our own unique and personal my CBT story. And yet there's a common thread that weaves through our beloved community. And during services, I was thinking about all of those threads and how together they weave a beautiful tapestry that define who we are. Some of you may know that I am a person who is not very good at saying no. And in fact, my friend Patty often reminds me that no is a complete sentence, and I'll let you all decide whether you believe that or not. So years ago, when I joined CBT, I was the mother of 3 young children and 2 old and sick parents. Yet I wanted my children to have the experience of religious school. I knew that formal Jewish education was critical for them to understand their history and even to understand me. So I would race across the bridge from Benicia in my minivan, drive through the parking lot, trying not to hit the orange cones, eject my children, fly to do my errands, and return. And this pretty much worked for me and the busy life that I had, or so I thought. But then one day, someone asked if I would help out in the Sisterhood gift shop for Hanukkah. And I said, yes. I became one of the 4 or 5 that would regularly work the gift shop during the holidays. And it was fun, really. I started to meet many new people. We had a great time. And then I read about a new service, originally called Musical Shabbat, and I thought, yes, why not? And I started showing up more and more. And every time I did, I became more connected to this beautiful, beautiful congregation that we had. Sheer joy became a monthly delight for my children and me. We would fill up the minivan with kids and friends and have a great time. At Oneg, there were cookies for them and friends for me and cookies for me. And so the story continues. Over the years, I have said yes to so many things at CBT in ways that have honestly transformed my life. So I urge you, whatever draws you, say yes. I mean, if Karen or the rabbi ask you, put on your seatbelts, then say yes. Consider decorating the sukkah, show up for the annual Sisterhood brunch, join us for Hanukkah when we light up our sanctuary with the warmth of our candles, wander with the Wandering Jews of Walnut Creek for a restaurant walk, try a second Friday Shabbat, and the list goes on. Say yes, you won't regret it. Because I truly believe, that what we do here at CBT is important. In fact, I think it is vital for our crazy world for us to build community and provide a safe place to nourish our children and ourselves. Please join me in saying yes to our beautiful, sweet, kind community. And together, not only are we honoring our past, we are creating our legacy. David has a few more things in Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. So here we both are from different places, taking different paths, but arriving at the same destination. Here we all are, having spent the last 2 years unable to meet in community as a congregation. Now we are together, sharing the spiritual space, observing our individual relationship with worship and Judaism, feeling each other's presence, and experiencing that feeling of grace that can only come as part of a community. For the last 2 years, we experienced Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur in our homes, viewing services on a screen. While we experienced the awe of Rabbi Shaban's magical presence, I think we all felt that something was missing. We were missing, holding each other in community, just like we are today. I'd like you to reflect on how emotionally connected you were to the services then, and compare that to how today's experience, in the beauty of our surroundings and amid the presence of our friends and family, makes you feel. I know that I feel the spirit of our community and its emotional presence so much stronger now than I did then. And just as each in our own way need community for completeness, our community needs us. So my first ask, there are going to be two, my first ask is for everyone here and joining us on YouTube to lean into what CBT has to offer to strengthen our community. Maybe that means attending one Shabbat a month. Maybe Shir Joy service with its beautiful music and interesting melodies. Maybe the second Friday theme service. Look for the flyer for details. Maybe Shabbat on the Block is one of those services for you. Be a host, be a guest, meet community members who you don't know. How about the Jewish Night of Why? That's another Shabbat. Maybe we can learn why it's okay to eat locusts but not lobster. I don't. Maybe Nishma. Maybe our community-led service. Maybe Tat Shabbat or Shabbat in the Park, my favorite service, where we gather with multi-generations in beautiful civic park, where we picnic and dogs and kids run free. We have one coming up this Friday. Join us. Say hello. I'll be there. And to our guests with whom we share our high holiday services, I'm so happy that you're here in our midst, welcomed into the warm and inviting spirit of our community. I invite you too to lean in as well. Come join us in our home, the little shul on the hill, for more experiences and become part of us, part of our congregational family. And if you come for a service, stay for the oneg. As Sheldon and Thelma told us last night, the onegs are
5-star.
5-star. Enjoy an ash and a conversation, make a new friend, talk to the rabbi, build relationships. I can vouch for the fact that the more relationships you have, the more eager you will be to be here. But CBT is more than its Shabbat services. On the other side of the flyer, we list 4 communal experiences. Join one, join them all. I guarantee you that if you do as I ask, and this is a guarantee, 3 things will occur. First, CBT will strengthen. Second, you will feel more connected to CBT. And third, next year when we join for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we will all feel more connected to each other. So, here's the second ask. Ushers, bar the doors. Last year, when we met virtually, I asked everyone online to contribute whatever they could to our High Holiday Appeal. No amount was too small. No amount was too large. Amazingly, 162 of us stepped up to donate, the largest number ever. This year, let's top that. Let's find one more pledge, at least 163 pledges minimum. And if we do, an anonymous benefactor will donate an additional $10,000. But as the infomercials say, there's more. If we receive 200 pledges, an additional $5,000 will be donated. By leaning in, by donating, by participating, we want this year to be a year of yes for CBT. Please say yes. We're not done. I'm done asking. That's done. We'd be remiss, Judith and I, if we failed to roll the closing credits. Many people contributed time and energy to create our enriching High Holiday services. Judith and I ask you to give us the time and attention to recognize them.
First and foremost, to our beloved rabbi, who has led these amazing services together again. Words can't describe. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you to our musicians, to Dwight Stone, the conductor of our amazing choir. We miss the choir the past few High Holidays. You sounded magnificent and lifted the service to new heights this year. Thank you to Irene Jacobson on piano, Lisa Zeiler on guitar, Shira Kamen on the violin, Jason Pollock on the flute, Nina Flyer on the cello. Your music touched our hearts. Thank you to Latal Abrams, who grew up in this community and has now returned to share her thrilling voice with us. And thank you to Kiki Lipset, who sang so harmoniously with Rabbi Shaban. You complemented each other so gracefully.
Thank you to our shofar blowers, Larry DeLoe and David McGarrian, to Daniel Smith for blowing the shofar in the top service. An enormous thank you to Max Hess. I'll talk to you more later. It was amazing. What a beautiful sermon. And I can tell you, my kids have the same memory of me that you have your parents about what they remember. Good point. Thank you to our CBT team who worked so hard to make sure that CBT is always a warm home and ensuring that for this day and these high holidays, the behind-the-scenes work went smoothly. We have an amazing team. Karen Smith, Arit Winton, Tammy Welch-Robinson is out there, Rachel Stokel, Paula Mosaati, Kathy Jacobs, and Tina Eisenman.
A special thank you to Karen, Orit, and the Madrichim for leading the junior congregation. That's hard work. Allowing our children to have their own meaningful prayer experience. Thank you to many of our committees working in concert to make these days possible, to the COVID response team for guiding us how to meet safely, to the membership committee chaired by Andrea Slavitt for welcoming everyone warmly and creating the directories, To the Ritual Committee, chaired by Idell Lippman, for thinking through all the details and helping wherever needed, and to the Social Action Committee, chaired by Allison Negrin and Jennifer Klatsky, for helping coordinate the food drive.
Thank you to the many High Holiday volunteers who moved everything from CBT to here, who will build and decorate the sukkah, who brought apples and honey for us to enjoy, who stuffed envelopes, ensuring we all had our high holiday information, who organized the applesauce food drive. Thank you to the volunteers who helped select and contact honorees, who delivered matzorim to people who needed help. Joan Weinstein, Robin Gordon, Thelma Bronet, Allison Negrin, Mona Epstein, Allison Trules, Zaffi Welch, Idell Lippman, Mary Ann Wittenberg, Jessica Palmer, Andrea Slavitt, Cookie Svingos, Jay Gleeman, Nat Bitton, Rob Hess, David Jacoby, Rob Robinson, Jason Pollack, Don Brava, and Susan Friedman.
And finally, thank you to St. Matthew for allowing us to share your beautiful space, for opening your doors to us, and for all the help you provide lovingly along the way. To Pastor Rustin, Pastor Mike, Denny Maple, who volunteered to help with our live stream, and a special thanks to you, Tom, who makes sure everything works smoothly for us, including our live stream. Thank you all. And by the way, on the way out, don't forget to put your masks on. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.